The Falcons and Michael Penix Jr. have left their crowd deflated with that limp and shriveled performance that they put out, getting shut out by the Panthers 30-0. Yeah, this team is just not reaching the expectations that they had before the season. And I'm saying that mainly because when you look hypothetically, they should be on paper better than the Carolina Panthers. And that loss, to lose like that, you can lose to divisional opponents. We've seen that. But they got absolutely smoked by Dave Canales, by that defense, and J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, by Bryce Young in that running game with Chuba Hubbard, by all of them. Like, that was a pathetic performance. And despite all of that, none of that is the main problem right now for the Atlanta Falcons. The main problem is, can Michael Penix Jr. throw the football? He was sailing like every pass in this game. He just wasn't accurate deep. He hasn't really been accurate for 2 weeks. And when you really deep dive into it, I didn't fully watch them play the Bucks, but from what I saw, some of their biggest plays were underneath routes or him scrambling near the goal line, including one play to Bijan where he threw Bijan a screen and he just got 60 yards purely off of that. And that's kind of why, I took him personally in my fantasy league. Was I thought, Pitts is Pitts is good now. Pitts is there. Drake London, is a very good receiver. And Bijan Robinson is one of the best running backs in the league, straight from the Saquon Jonathan Taylor mode. However, this dude can't throw the football right now. He's just sailing everything. He doesn't have the pinpoint accuracy that we thought he had in college. And maybe, and this is the case sometimes. This is why it's very interesting when you get in these, when you try to draft a quarterback. It's hard. In college, he had Ted McMillan, who you saw on the other side for the Panthers, go nuts this week, just making huge catches over the Falcons defense. And they had Roma Dunze, who for the Bears, he's starting to come along. Those are two real weapons, as well as Kalen DeBoer, who we've seen him struggle recently in Alabama, but he was known as a winning coach and especially one who could develop an offense. So with that being the case right now, Penix is struggling, man. It's not looking good. This is definitely not the performance, the vibrant thing that we expected when you start a guy like Penix Jr. And this has just been outright a straight disappointment early in the season. Even last week, yes, they won the game against the Vikings, but you could kind of see it. The Vikings started putting pressure on them and started tightening up the man coverage and making a lot of those throws very, very contested areas, tough throws. And Penix just wasn't hitting them. He wasn't hitting them all night on Sunday Night Football. Just couldn't hit the hole. It's just not good stuff. And then you fast forward to this game. The Panthers are straps, but my God, 0 points is crazy. And then to make it worse, the interception that he threw in the flat was just ridiculous. Like, it's clearly man coverage. He doesn't even look before firing the ball. When you're the quarterback of the team, you gotta look before you throw a pass, because that can be devastating. And it ended up being just that, because the Falcons defense was fighting, and it was a 10-0 score. The game well within a chance. It should have never got to 30. And if they just kind of get one drive, you look and you're like, all right, maybe the Panthers will fold. To make it even worse, it was at the 10-yard line. So you trust Penix to try to get the job done and throw the ball inside the 10. He just had nothing there. Other kind of quiet storyline, something bubbling with this team. Raheem Morris, is he just a dickhead? Now he got asked, will Penix sit for Cousins? And he said, no, this was one bad performance. Cousins lost his job last year by playing bad for over games, blah, blah, blah. But someone brought this up in one of my group chats, and it was a very dickhead way to respond to that question, which he looked that bad. And he did in the fourth quarter get benched. And Raheem Morris, you've benched people before. All he had to say was, nah, Penix is our starter. because he can't say penis in the press conference. Penix is our starter, and this is just where we're going to go going forward. He's our guy. Not in a roundabout way to slam Kirk Cousins for no reason. That's just strange, especially because you might be in that situation where you got to play him because Penis also gets hurt all the time. So it's a very interesting thing bubbling. Remember, I'm not just saying this because of this one comment. Raheem Morris was the coach for the Buccaneers, and it all went south very fast after what we thought Josh Freeman. I remember I like Josh Freeman, the things he was kind of doing. Maybe a little before his time, Josh Freeman. But he was doing some stuff with that Buccaneers team, and then suddenly his confidence was gone. Maybe Morris is kind of a dickhead. I could definitely see it. That was a dickhead response to that question. And hope we'll see what happens with Penis, and if his confidence is shattered, you definitely don't want him to go out there being limp. Other things as well for the Falcons heading forward. They got to now put some wins together. They're now 1-2. This is, by the way, what I was worried about in the preseason when Penis didn't play. Like, you got to get him warmed up. You got to get him out here. You just throw him out there cold. You're like, go ahead, win some games. That was never. He hasn't played enough in the NFL. He only played a couple of 3 games in his rookie season, so it's not like he's an established starter. And even you saw Bryce Young get out there and get warmed up. And now next week they play the Commanders. I took the Falcons. I'm rocking with the Peen. I took them, and as the game gets closer, I'm getting more and more nervous because Tony the Tiger took the Commanders, and this is a big swing game. So Falcons, lock in, man. Like, this is it right now. If you go to 1-3, you're toast. You're done. This season is. I don't see them having the ability to win however many games, 10 out of 14 games. I just don't see it. I don't think they're good enough for that. I think they got to stay right around where they are at 500 and kind of fight it out like that. Especially now, if the Panthers are any good, you just lost to them, and that's not a great sign. And the Bucs are 3-0, so the division's pretty much chalked. So we'll see if the Falcons can bounce back. We'll see what they have in their tank, and it's going to be very interesting for them going forward.